Good afternoon, and welcome to the subcommittee meeting of the appointments. It's a pleasure to have most of the councilors in hand. I will introduce the members of the council subcommittee. Councilor Janino, Councilor McKenna, Councilor Powers, Councilor Visconti, and by virtue of ex officio, the President of the City Council, Patrick Keefe. We will go a little bit out of order this afternoon because with this we have the police chief, and we will call the police chief to the podium. And this is an appointment to the Human Rights Commission. Chief, please come to the podium. State your name and address for the record, please. Hit the button. Thank you.
David J. Callahan, 400 Revere Beach Parkway, Revere, Massachusetts.
And you're being appointed to the Human Rights Commission, which is a very important part of our community from now on. And it's a tremendous responsibility, and we know that you're very capable of doing that. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, I, for one, believe this is an excellent appointment. I think that your history during your tenure as a police officer, you have set certainly a great example, and I am sure that you will do so also on this important board. I think you're a very fair and straightforward person, and that's what we need on a position like this. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other members of the City Council wishing to speak? Seeing and hearing none. Councilor Zambudo, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just really briefly, Chief, I think that this, to date, is the best appointment the mayor has made to this Human Rights Commission. So I'm thrilled, happy to have you on there, and I know you'll do a splendid job as you do everything else you do. So I just want to congratulate you and thank you for serving on this important committee.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you very much.
At this time, I will ask for a roll call of the members of the zoning of the appointment subcommittee. Councilor Janino.
Absolutely, yes.
Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Councilor Powers.
Certainly.
Councilor Visconti.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, certainly. I think that you're a qualified candidate, and I think you're going to do a great job, and I'm proud that the mayor has offered up your services and you accepted. And to me, it's a great responsibility, and I know you can handle it. Congratulations. Now, Chief, there's no need for you to stay for this entire meeting because this is a subcommittee. We will offer this out to the committee of the whole for a vote. You will have all of the members of the subcommittee, so you're pretty much assured that you're all set. So there's no need for you to stay in attendance if you don't so desire. Congratulations, and do a good job for our community as you do always.
Thank you very much. I will. I'll do my best.
It's a pleasure. Congratulations.
Have a good evening. Thank you.
You too. Thank you, Chief. Hey. Okay, so there might be a little delay. At the advice of the city clerk, we've been advised to ask for a 5-minute delay based on the fact that the communication that went out to hook up the link to Zoom to connect the guests to this particular meeting didn't work. So we're sending out another communication to them in order for them to be in attendance. So please bear with us. We will be back within 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
We're in, so I'm just waiting
How are
for
you?
some more
The
appointees.
other link, I can't hear you.
Sorry about the technical difficulties.
I can't hear you. Yeah, I think you're on mute. I think you're on mute. Yeah, I think you were on mute. I didn't hear you.
There's going to be an echo.
Thank you. Hey, Bob.
Can you hear me now, Juan?
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We just have to wait for some other attendees to catch on to that email.
Sure, no problem. Yeah, I was on,
But, yeah, you had to get it ready. Thank you for your patience. We now worked out that little bit of a problem, and we hopefully will conduct the meeting as orderly as we possibly could under the circumstances. And we are going to go out of order this evening based on a few exceptions here. And the next is the appointment of Karu Pitch to the Human Rights Commission. Is Karu in attendance with us?
Yes.
Please state your name and your reasoning for trying to apply for this position and seeking our support.
Sure. My name is Karu Page. I'm a resident of Revere for many, many years, and I landed in the United States of America, and I have been working at Habaco for the last 22 years doing domestic violence work. And I mostly work with survivors of domestic violence and their children, mostly are immigrants who are born outside of the country. And the reason why I'm seeking support and I would like to join the Human Rights Commission committee, because I think I can bring my skill and my experience to the committee. Especially, I have been doing a lot of work around anti-racism, oppression, the TH, support for the Domestic Violence Coalition across the country. So I've been, helping set up the structure, how to support people of color, people who are underserved communities. So I feel like all of these years I've been doing consultation for the National Network and National Women of Color Network for the last 12 years, and then doing other anti-racism and oppression work. I think I can bring a great skill and experiences that I can share with the group. And my goal of doing this work is to bring people together.
Thank you very much for the comments. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Seeing none. Any members of the City Council wishing to speak? Seeing none. Well, we certainly looked over your resume. We are proud to say that the mayor has offered up your services. And again, you have come forward to help out the city of Revere in our human rights endeavor. And we hopefully that you will do a good job once appointed. And again, there is no need for you to stay on to the Zoom meeting, the entire event. I will take a subcommittee vote and find out how we're going to vote this out this evening, and then you'll know from there. Thank you for your attendance. Councilor
Thank
Giannino.
you so much. I appreciate it, Council. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And good to see everybody. Hi,
Yeah.
Lower.
It's a pleasure to be working with you. Councilor Giannino.
Yes.
Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Councilor Visconti.
Yes.
Council Vice President Keefe is absent, and the chair says yes. So we will vote this out favorably to the Committee of the Whole this evening and vote it out favorably. Thank you. The next is the appointment of J. Pandela Construction as a licensed drain layer. Is J, a member of the J. Pandela Construction Company, available?
The engineering department has been in touch with them. They have no email, sent notice out. They are a new appointment. They've been waiting to start projects.
They're a new appointment, they should be here. Back in 1993, I was council president, and I found it that when appointments were made by the mayor and sent up to the city council for confirmation, most of the councils didn't even know who the person was or hadn't even known what they looked like. So at that point, I established a appointment subcommittee, and I'm proud to say that it's been a very, very fruitful one. And I stick to the rules of order that were initially established, and that is that if a person does not appear, we don't vote on it. So we will table this until our next appointment subcommittee. Thank you. Next is the appointment of Rashad Mukaber to the Human Rights Commission. Rashad.
Yes, Councilman.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you so much.
Just give us a brief presentation, Rashid, if you could, just of your aspiration to be on the Human Rights Commission.
Sure. My name is Rashid Mukhabir. The first time I came to the United States, I landed in Revere, a city that I fell in love with, and a city that I have been proudly calling home. I work as a technical service manager for Transmedics, a medical device company, representing the company worldwide. In parallel, I established a nonprofit organization called Moroccan American Connections in Revere, which was established to inspire and empower the growing community, Moroccan community in the city of Revere, which is estimated to more than 10%. A nonprofit organization that was quickly embraced by the city of Revere and now is serving low and moderate income individuals and families through education, leadership, and civic engagement. Our organization stepped up during the COVID-19 and did a tremendous job. And that's why I was recommended by some colleagues to this position. Our organization has been making masks for the city of Revere, and they made over 32,000 masks for the city of Revere, including the public schools. We started a program to create jobs for the people in the city of Revere. We did start with the first batch, and now we are recruiting for our second batch for technical, tech support job program. I believe that I've been advocating for low and moderate income families in the city of Revere, and probably that's the reason I was recommended by my colleagues for this position, and they will be very proud and humble to serve side by side to Fire Chief Bright, Police Chief Callahan, Dr. Garcia, as well as my colleagues Lynn Alexis, Kuru Pitch, and Dimple Rana. If you appoint me for this position, I will be very proud, and I hope that I will be an inspiration to my community and other communities of colors to be part of this change happening in the city of Revere. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rashid. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Any members of the city council wishing to speak? Rashid, it looks like I'm the last man standing, and I know you very well. You're a gentleman. I've met you on several occasions. You've always presented yourself well, and you always, in my opinion, had the best interests of the community at heart. So I will be voting favorably for you. At this time, Rashid, I'm going to take a vote of the subcommittee to see their feelings, and then we will refer this over to the committee of the whole thereafter. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Counsel McKenna.
Yes.
Counsel Powers.
Yes.
Counsel Visconti.
Yes.
And Council President Keefe is absent, and myself, yes. So it looks like the votes are there, Rashid. Congratulations. We will be asking the Committee of the Whole to vote this out favorably. Please do a good job for our community and our city in these very trying times. Thank you.
Thank you so much, councilors.
God bless.
Thank you.
Councilor Novoselsky has his hand raised. Of course, Councilor Novoselsky is not in the council chamber, so I couldn't see him. Councilor Novoselsky.
Speak on behalf of Rashid, I did mention his name to the mayor to put him in for this position. And Rashid's been very active in the neighborhoods, and really appreciate all his work that he's done over the last several years that I've known him and worked with him. So I look forward to voting for him for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you so much, Councilor Novoselsky. It's always a pleasure working with you.
Next is the appointment of Lynn Alexis to the Human Rights Commission. Is Lynn in attendance?
Yes, I am. My apologies. It looks like I was muted.
Hi, welcome to the subcommittee.
Thank you, Chairman.
You're all set. You may talk.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to say good evening to everyone, city councils. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. It's a distinct pleasure to be appointed as a nominee for the Human Rights Commission. I remember hearing the city's initiative to bring about and to resurrect the Human Rights Commission, and duly excited to be a part of the city that believes that the human rights lens is something to be important in order to effectually affect the duties of the city. I've been a resident of Revere since 2000. I went to middle school here and graduated from Revere High as well. I'm very passionate about human rights issues. I remember seeking out opportunities that I could be of assistance to the city. I reached out to the chief of staff at the city hall, and he had recommended that I'd be suited for this position. So upon that, I started to look into it and was very pleased at this, and spoke to the mayor as well, and was really pleased at the intentions that the city seeks to bring forward. I am a labor attorney for labor unions in Massachusetts, and I also believe that my background in the legal profession allows me the distinct ability to be able to assess some of these issues through a legal lens. But I think as equally important to have members that are passionate, members that seek forth opportunities to help, and members that really, really want to see the city thrive in such a way. And I believe that as we continue to mold and the city continues to have the mission assessed of the human rights, that we will be a critical part of the city and an integrous part, and a part that is able to help better our community and our city as a whole. So I'm very excited to be a part of this initiative, and I look forward to working with each and every single one of you.
Thank you very much, Lynn. I appreciate that. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Council Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's always a very positive thing when we have people coming before this city council that are interested in public service, working on all our different boards and commissions to make the city more diverse and a better city each day as we move along. One of the things that impressed me is your legal experience in a law office, and I think that's very important to any commission or board that's making decisions with regard to human rights. So again, I certainly will be supporting you this evening when we take a final vote, and also when the committee takes a vote very shortly. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Powers. Any members of the City Council wishing to speak? Seeing none, Lynn, we will be voting this out right now from the subcommittee, and we'll get a roll call. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Councilor Visconti.
Yes.
Council President Keefe is absent, and the chair votes yes. We will recommend to the Committee of the Whole to vote this out favorably. Congratulations, and do a good job for our community.
Thank you, absolutely.
Pleasure. Oh. Okay. Next is the appointment of Chief Bright to the Human Rights Commission. Chief, are you present? I was just
Yes,
informed.
good afternoon, Council. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Say a few words to the City Council, just.
Sure. First off, I'd just like to say I was honored when I was asked to serve or to be considered for this Human Rights Commission. I think it's very timely, obviously, in the city and in the country with all the divisions that we have going on. I do believe my background as in law, and basically, I always prided myself on trying to be a very fair, honest type of person. And I'll tell you, it's very important work, and I'm really willing to listen to the concerns in the community and to try to come to some, maybe come to a better place for all of us to understand each other and to get along better, to live with dignity, fairness, respect for all of us. So again, I'd just like to say thank you for considering me for this important commission.
Thank you very much, Chief. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief Bright, similar to our police chief, I've had the opportunity to observe your work ethic over the past several years since I've been on the city council. I've found out that to be that you've always been out there speaking in a positive manner on issues that were critical to the city of Revere. I think your legal experience certainly, again, is another reason why you should be serving on the Human Rights Commission. I think it's a commission that, in many of cases, and my colleagues mentioned that several weeks ago, it's important to have somebody on the Human Rights Commission that has a legal background and has a sincere, intense desire to make this city a better city to live in. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Zambudo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chief, at the risk of diminishing the bouquets I threw at Chief Callahan, I want to say ditto. I'm thrilled that the mayor has chosen you to be on this commission, as thrilled as I am that he picked the police chief. So I know you'll do a great job. I know the type of person you are, and I'm very happy that you're willing to serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, councilors.
Any other councilors wishing to speak? I'm just going to add that the city of Revere is very fortunate and lucky to have two chiefs, one the fire chief and one the police chief, two gentlemen who really uphold the law and really do a wonderful job. And they're all also knowledgeable in their experience in their departments, and they know what the city of Revere needs best at this time. So again, another good appointment by the mayor, and we will take a roll call vote from the subcommittee at this time. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Councilor Visconti.
Yes.
Councilor Keefe is absent, and the chair votes yes. We will vote this out favorably to the Committee of the Whole this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next is the appointment of Timothy Bergerman to the Human Rights Commission. Is Timothy available?
Yes.
Welcome. Just say a few words of.
Yep. Counselor, thank you so much, and thank you. It's an honor to be nominated for this by the mayor and to be asked for this. I'm someone who have lived in Revere for 13 years. I've also been a pastor in Revere for the same amount of time. I love this city, invested here. As you know, many of you know me already, have been involved in the city for a long time with many events, whether it was anti-casino advocacy or caring about events in the city, caring for our church and how we can serve in any way. We love this city and love supporting any way we can. For our church also, we're a multi-ethnic church, and we're a church that's very involved here, where it's caring for ESL ministries, the homeless, our food pantry. I'm very much a part of all those things for our city. And as someone who has just become senior pastor of the First Congregational Church at Revere, I'm honored to step into this position to follow Reverend Nick Granitsis, who was on the original Human Rights Commission when it was started here in Revere. So I hope I can follow in his shoes and serve in the way he did and be like him, and also continue to serve this community that we love in these times that we face. Our church has always desired to care for those who are in need of care and advocacy in any area, and to really love and care for the city and bring us together and to find that way to do it with justice and fairness. So we care about those things. I do as a pastor, and I hope that if I am nominated to serve in this way diligently and to care and serve this community here.
Thank you very much. We certainly recognize, the City Council recognizes the wonderful job you're doing, and congratulations in your new position. We certainly look forward to working with you. You come with the highest regard and respect, and this is the type of character and person we need on the Human Rights Commission to show the sensitivity and fairness to all our members of our community. And again, another great appointment. At this time, we'll ask for a roll call from the subcommittee. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Councilor Visconti.
Yes.
Council President Keefe is absent, and the chair says yes. We will vote this out favorably to the Committee of the Whole.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Mr. Chairman,
Council Zambudo.
I apologize. If you'll give me just a minute, I wanted to speak briefly about Pastor Bogerman. I known him for as long as he's been in the city of Revere. We've done a lot together. We've been on opposite sides on some issues, but he's a gentleman and a wonderful person, and I know that he'll be a complete asset to this commission, and I'm thrilled that the mayor has chosen him. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor.
Thank you, Counselor.
We will vote this out favorably this evening to the Committee of the Whole. Next, the appointment of Dimple Rana to the Human Rights Commission. Dimple, you present?
Yes, good evening, Chairman.
Please give us a brief overview.
Yes, well, good evening, everybody. I'm really honored to be appointed, to have an appointment nomination for the Human Rights Commission, along with 7 incredible community leaders and fellow colleagues. I'm a lifelong resident of Revere and have 3 generations of my family living in the city, and we will continue to be here. And so part of our experience and what I also bring to the table, my background, my education is in public health. I have a Bachelor of Science in Public Health from Hofstra University, and I also have a degree from Tufts University as a Master in Public Policy. I am currently the Director of Outreach for the city. I'm also the chair of the Complete Count Committee for the 2020 census, and I'm also the co-leader of Revere on the Move. And I'm really excited, again, for this opportunity. I have over 20 years of experience in the nonprofit sector, locally and also internationally, and I look forward to bringing all my years of expertise and experience and skills and network to the Human Rights Commission. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Give you, Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dimple, as you are probably, I'm sure you're aware, on your first round coming before the council, I did not support you, and I would like to make myself very clear on that. The reason being that I wanted to see the mayor put together a committee that involved not just one person, but different opinions and different views when they were discussing with human rights, which is a very, very serious and critical part of city government. So I want to say to you tonight, I will be supporting you as a member of the committee and also before the full council. I'm well aware of your work ethic and the many functions that you have performed in the city of Revere, which were beneficial to the city of Revere. So I hope you understand my rationale for not voting you for the first time. And I'm very happy that the mayor has finally put together a Human Rights Commission that has many different opinions, many different talents, and many different views of our city of Revere. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Any other councilors wishing to speak? Councilor Janino.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to start by saying that during the last meeting I did speak. I was against Ms. Rana's appointment as the director of the Human Rights Commission, and I did state in that meeting that I would be able to support her as a member. However, I must say, over the last few weeks, she has made it very, very clear of her inability to be an impartial person in this committee. And I think that something that is so crucial for this committee is that it is an impartial body. And I think that the actions of these people that we appoint need to be shown every day, not just sometimes, not just in session, but we need people that are truly impartial. And because I feel that she has proven that she cannot be impartial, I cannot support her this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Seeing none, I will just say, prior to a vote from the subcommittee, is that I did read your resume, and I did read the transmittal that the mayor sent over on your behalf. And then it says that Ms. Rana has distinguished herself as a community director of the City Healthy Community Initiatives and Revere on the Move. It was my observation that in the last preliminary election, Revere on the Move got a little bit politically involved. So if you're the director of that very distinguished body, which does a lot of good things for our city, I still see the flavor of politics in it, which is supposed to be removed because that's an agency of the city of Revere. Its members should not dictate or express their views on a political statement or political candidacy from that particular position. It lasted 12 days. It didn't just go on and then get corrected. It lasted 12 days. Now that, to me, expresses poor judgment. This position is very vital to our community. Black lives matter, Chinese roots matter, all lives matter. I don't see your direction coming in that vein. I see it very politically oriented. You're orchestrated in a particular vein that leads you in a direction of your own. When you become a political person and you work as an employee of our community, you're supposed to be impartial. You're not supposed to draw a position on that. You're a director. You're a person that we all lead up to. And I hope that you will distinguish yourself from that. And I think very strongly that those types of actions remove you from this position. Human rights is a very, very sensitive position. I want all of us to feel like we have members of that commission that's going to go forward and bring our city together. That's the most important thing we need in today's times. We need ourselves to be together. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. So I'll be voting in the negative in this particular application. And at this time, I ask for a roll call in the subcommittee. Councilor Janine.
Comment, just real quick, if I could.
Sure, absolutely.
So Revere on the Move is co-led by my office and also the Revere Cares Coalition. There are multiple people who are on the Revere on the Move Facebook account. And if you, the dates that I think are in question were times I was also not working and not having access to these Facebook pages. And yes, it was an error that had happened. Facebook has a new feature where you can interact with multiple profiles. So if you are in charge or the administrator for a particular page, you can toggle between your personal page and those Facebook pages. And in human error, there could have been a mistake by the multiple people who have multiple staff members that have access to the Revere on the Move Facebook page. And so I just wanted to put that out there that it wasn't due to any, to cause any harm or to cause any conflict or to show any political sides. But again, it was due to human error. And again, with the management of multiple people on that page, we have a communications coordinator, we have a program manager, we have several outreach staff, we have also staff among the coalition that also have access to the page because we're sharing so much content and information and events and items for the city, especially right now with COVID, with all of our different free food programs. And so we are having to have many eyes on the page. And again, it happened an accident. I've had conversations with staff and it won't happen again. But I just wanted to clear that up and that I hope that, again, doesn't sway anybody's decision on a mistake that was made by a team of staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Dimple. I certainly want to just call your attention that you are noted as the director, and in my opinion, the director is the chief of that particular organization or order, and the director calls the shots, and it shouldn't have taken 12 days to come down. It's as simple as that. And again, it adds to the listing of different various things why I was objecting to your appointment in the first place. Councilor Rotundo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I am kind of befuddled because both entities have strict IRS codes in which they cannot engage in any type of political behavior. More importantly, the mayor was notified of this issue, which troubles me even more that this wasn't taken up seriously by the mayor to put forward to the organizations that we oversee and that we provide funding for. I would hope in the future that this type of discourse wouldn't take place, however minor it is. Frankly, there should be a complete separation of the government and their political activities. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councilors wishing to speak? At this time, we'll take up a vote of the subcommittee. Councilor Janino.
No.
Councilor McKenna.
No.
Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Councilor Visconti.
No.
And the chair votes no, and Councilor Keefe is absent. This will be voted out unfavorably to the Committee of the Whole this evening. Thank you. Next is the appointment of Dr. Lorenzo Garcia to the Human Rights Commission. Is Dr. Garcia available?
Yes, I'm here.
Welcome. Dr. Garcia, just please give us a brief description of what your thoughts are regarding the Human Rights Commission.
I think it's a great commission. It's something that's needed in our town, in our district, in our city. In a city where you have a significant number of minority students and linguistic and culturally diverse population. It's with people coming from all over the world. I think it's something that's needed. We know the times are very difficult now. We have a climate that sometimes confuses a lot of people, particularly our immigrant population. And I, as an immigrant person that came to the U.S. in 1995 and has served the city of Revere for almost 11 years, of which 8 years at the high school as a principal, and I'm entering my third year in the central office. I think I know more or less what's needed to be done in the city. I have trained many parents, immigrant parents, in terms of making sure they understand their rights in the city, making sure they receive the proper training to understand the school system, the way the local, state, and federal government works. And it's really my pleasure to be, when the mayor approached me and approached the school department, suggesting my name for this committee. It was something that I was thrilled about, because as an immigrant, nobody better than me, at least, with all the, being humble at the same time, knows the experiences, the difficulties, and the challenges that many immigrant parents and immigrant families in our city go through. And that does not go just for Revere, it goes for the country as a whole. So in this capacity, I believe that my educational background, I have a 3 bachelor's degree. I am a well-traveled person, lived in Russia, Angola, Portugal, Cape Verde. I think I have a pretty solid understanding of where immigrant parents are coming from and the need, the challenge they face, and ways to go about addressing those challenges. So I speak 7 languages fluently. I have a master's degree in applied linguistics from UMass Boston, and I have a doctorate in education leadership and public policy studies. I think if you look through my records, my resume, and the accomplishment and things I've done in Revere, I think that will give you a good understanding of the type of person I am. But putting education aside, I think I'm a strong person that's guided by a strong moral compass. And I have the ethics and the experience, professional experience, to really support our immigrant families, but not just immigrant families, all the families in Revere. What we want to do in Revere is to build a community that respects one another, where people respect each other. And it's inclusive, because I believe strongly in inclusion and equity. So those 2 things are important to really support Revere, and that's the aim that each one of us should have. So it's a great pleasure to be invited to be part of this committee, and I look forward to really work with the mayor, work with everyone on this committee to really continue to support our city, our diverse city. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Garcia. Members of the subcommittee wishing to speak, Councilor McKenna.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just like to say it's nice to see you, Dr. Garcia. I worked with Dr. Garcia in Revere High School for about 10 years. He's impartial, he's fair, and he would just be a great asset to this committee. So thank you, Dr. Garcia, for speaking, and I'll vote favorably for this. Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Any other members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Seeing none, Councilor Zambudo.
Thank you for the latitude, Mr. Chairman. I've known Dr. Garcia for many years. This is another great pick by the mayor. I'm very pleased that you're willing to serve, Doctor, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, Dr. Garcia, my experience with you is a very enjoyable one. I go to the graduation exercises, and I can see for myself the fondness for the students, how they feel towards you. And I think it's a reward for yourself of the type of person you are when the students so much appreciate you. And so, and I hear all good things about you, and naturally, I'm very proud that the mayor has offered your services out and you have accepted. To me, it would be a great pleasure to vote for you, sir, and to do a good job for our community, as you do every day in your job as a principal and a member of society that works with our youth. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And congratulations this evening. We'll take a vote, but you know where it's going, and we think a lot of you. So
Thank you. Appreciate it.
thank you very much, sir. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Councilor McKenna. Yes. Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Councilor Visconti.
Yes.
Councilor Keefe.
Yes.
And the chair says yes. We vote you out favorably. Thank you, and congratulations again. Do a good job for us.
Thank you. My pleasure. Look forward to it.
Yes. Next is the appointment of Laura Holmes to the Planning Board. Is Laura in the attendance? Laura Holmes, is she in attendance? Laura Holmes, are you in attendance?
She's muted.
Please bear with us. We're trying to get this connection. We're still working on the problem. Please bear with us.
I think she's dialing in. Or trying to.
Oh, no, it's not Lore. It's Rivera TV's connection. We're just, we're working on it. It's not, we're all, hold on.
Hello, can you hear me now? Hello?
I can hear you, yes. Is it Laura?
That's me.
Yeah, okay, we can hear you.
I'm sorry for the echo. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I need to close my computer and just be on the phone.
You're fine with us.
Okay, good. And I'm sorry for the delay. I really appreciate the opportunity to be considered to join the planning board for the city of Revere, which I love. I fell in love with Revere many, many years ago when I used to bring my kids to the beach, and we loved it there because it was the beach where you would just see everybody, all different kinds of people, and I think that was what made me originally fall in love with Revere. I lived in Jamaica Plain at that time and lived there most of my adulthood for a couple of decades. And during the 80s and 90s, when I first became a homeowner and lived in Jamaica Plain, I watched all the changes come in Jamaica Plain, grow so much, and became inspired by the notion of what can happen in cities and neighborhoods when people work together for development. And I started to get to know Revere better when I went in 1998 and became the founding executive director at Harbor Cove in Chelsea. And we worked with Chelsea and Revere and East Boston and Winthrop to establish human services programs to try and end domestic violence in our communities. And I'm pleased to see Karu Pitch, who was my first person hired back then to be part of the Revere community, and that I finally got to move here in 2007. I live on Nahant Ave, and I love the Shirley Ave neighborhood. That's where most of my connection with Revere and my volunteering has been. I've been on the board of directors for Women Encouraging Empowerment for many years and president for about the past 5 years. And that being inspired by watching what I saw in Jamaica Plain also influenced my direction in my education and my career. And I went back to school for a master's degree in community economic development because I understood that those were the kinds of skills that could help make not only the physical neighborhood better, but also the neighborhoods and communities better for people. And that's what I really have a passion for and would like to be a part of. I think that since that time, I've been involved with developing the first Main Streets program in Eggleston Square in Boston. I've run nonprofit organizations. I've been a homeowner. I've been a landlord. I own my own little place in Revere. And I've been trying to get to know the city, and I really love the city more and more, and have been hoping for a way that I could contribute my skills and my interests. And this opportunity with the planning board seems like a good place that I hope I can make a good contribution. I like the challenges that we have ahead of us, as well as the opportunities, the master planning process, to be able to help with the implementation and in any way to carry out all the great vision that there is for this community. Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation. Any members of the City Council Subcommittee wishing to speak? Seeing none. Okay. Members of the City Council. Councilor Rotundo.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Holmes, thank you for attending, and more importantly, thank you for your contribution. I do have one question. What is your position on affordable housing in the city insofar as new construction? So, for example, one of the things that we have been inundated with as a community is multiple projects that have between 100 to 1,000 units within various projects from HYM, to projects on Revere Beach and so forth. Do you have a position as to any percentage of what new construction should have as far as affordable housing or as affordable rental? And if so, what is your background on supporting that within the communities that you've spoken about? And I'd be interested in hearing what you have to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question, Councilor. You know, that's a complicated question that I'm very interested in. I think there have to be a lot of interest balanced, and I'm actually also serving as a member of the Revere Housing Coalition right now. And in fact, tomorrow evening, we're hosting an educational session in which we can learn about all different ways to educate ourselves more about housing policy. I do not have a fixed position. My experience tells me that the communities that are most prosperous and rich are communities that have a diversity of housing, that have everything from home ownership to family housing to affordable housing. I think that there are lots of creative and innovative ways. What I resist is having fixed positions that polarize communities and make it very difficult for development to be successful. I would seek to play a role of understanding, cooperating, and looking to build consensus for solutions that make sense for the city in fiscal terms, in terms of thinking for the future, and in terms of sustaining the rich, diverse community culture that we so value here.
Mr. Chairman, if I may? Thank you.
We're running short, Judge.
Give me a minute, thank you. For me, quite personally, living down in the Shirley Ave, Beach Street area, I see families actually being displaced because of economic reasons, but more importantly, because of the gentrification of that area. I find that we need to actually do something in the sense of that. It troubles me to think that there isn't a process in which we cannot assure some type of affordable housing for those people that are being displaced due to the new construction in our community, in particular the gentrification in our community. Someone with your background as an activist, it kind of surprises me that you have no felt position on it, but I appreciate your comments and I thank you very much.
At that point, we're going to take a roll call from the members of the subcommittee. Councilor Giannino.
Yes.
Councilor Giannino says yes. Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Councilor McKenna says yes. Councilor Powers.
No.
Councilor Powers votes no. Councilor Visconti.
No.
Councilor Visconti votes no. Council President Keefe.
Yes.
Council President Keefe votes yes. The chair votes no. And it's a tie, 3-3, so we'll vote it out to the committee of the whole for a vote. We'll vote, we'll just tell the committee of the whole as you're sitting here this evening. It's a tie coming out of the subcommittee, and we'll vote from there. Thank you. Next is appointment of Juan Pablo Germello to the Planning Board. Juan, are you available?
Mr. Chairman.
Juan.
Over to you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. It's great to be in front of this solemn body for you, through you to the members. Thanks for taking the time with me today. I'm honored that you have granted me the time. I'm also honored that the mayor has chosen to appoint me to the planning board. I think that, as we think about the task at hand and we look toward the implementation of the master plan that our city has undertaken over the past few years, I think it's important to put on the board a thoughtful leader that has experience on the legislative front with areas of planning. As you may all be aware, I worked for 3 years in the Massachusetts State Senate. Worked 2 of those years as the legislative director for the Senate Housing Committee. And where I had the honor and privilege to work with Governor Baker and his administration on the Housing Choice Bill, which still unfortunately has not been adopted by the legislature. But it's a piece of legislation that removes barriers for development in communities like Revere. I'm also proud to have worked with Senator Boncory, who's my boss at the time, and with the Housing Committee, to pass an $18 billion housing bond bill that provided aid for communities like ours with crumbling infrastructure and for some of our for our housing in the city. I'm really I'm a testament to the story of what Revere is. My family and I moved here from Columbia in 2000. I'm a proud public school kid. Went to McKinley, Paul Revere, Garfield, and I graduated in 2012 from Revere High School. Dr. Garcia, who's I see still present at the meeting, signed my diploma with his bare hands, and I'm very darn proud of that. Congratulations on hopefully what will be your appointment, Dr. Garcia. But, Councilor Rotundo aptly put it, people here are being displaced, and we have to bring a thoughtful measure to how we deal with that here. I live in my parents' condo because I can't afford to move out still. And so, it's important that while we look at the master plan and the work that the city has done, that we are able to, kind of give recommendations. And I'm willing to work with the council, willing to work with the administration to ensure that we are creating a plan that fits our community. Thank you for your time. I'll take any questions.
Thank you for the presentation, Juan. It's been a pleasure of mine to have known you over the several years that I've known you, and you've always been a gentleman with me. Any members of the subcommittee wishing to speak? Seeing none. Any members of the city council wishing to speak? Seeing none. Okay, Juan, it looks like we're going to have a roll call. Like I said earlier, I've known you for several years, and every time we've met, we've exchanged greetings very well, and you've always been a gentleman with me, and I think you'd be good for the community. Councilor Janino?
No.
Councilor Janino, no. Councilor McKenna?
Yes.
Councilor McKenna, yes. Councilor Powers?
Yes.
Councilor Powers, yes. Councilor Visconti?
Yes.
Councilor Visconti, yes. Councilor Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Keefe, and the chair votes yes. We will vote you all favorably to the committee of the whole this evening. And congratulations, Juan. Do a good job for our community, and always keep that smile.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank to the subcommittee for their recommendation. Have a wonderful evening.
Okay, and finally, we have the last item before this subcommittee is appointment of James O'Brien to the Planning Board. Is Mr. O'Brien present, please?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Welcome.
Good evening. Jim O'Brien, 87 Atwood Street. It's a pleasure to talk to you. I've been living in Revere going on 10 years now. My wife's a lifelong Revere resident. I've been a real estate agent for Century 21 citywide on Broadway in Revere in the past. And I'd like to fulfill my community responsibility to participate and give back to the city of Revere.
Any members of the City Council Subcommittee wishing to speak? Councilor Powers.
Thank you, Mr. President. Jim, I'm sure we've met in the past. I know of your deep concern for the city, and that's so important when we put people on our different boards, whether it be planning board, the licensing board, or the zoning board of appeals, or any of these because we want people that are certainly interested in moving our city forward and making it a better place to live and taking into consideration every resident in this city. So I certainly will be supporting you this evening. Thank you, Mr. O'Brien.
Any other members of the City Council wishing to speak? Well, Jim, I'm just concerned about where you're going to get your information on this planning board. Are you going to get that in the mornings, like at 8 o'clock, 8:30, at a certain group event?
I'm going to get it wherever I can.
And I hope you do listen to a gentleman that appears there every once in a while. And I did say gentleman. God bless. And it'll be a pleasure to vote for you this evening, Jim. I just want to congratulate you on the mayor's appointment, and I'm glad that you accepted to do the responsibility of our community. I'm going to ask for a roll call of the subcommittee. Councilor Janino.
Yes.
Councilor McKenna.
Yes.
Councilor Powers.
Yes.
Councilor Visconti.
Yes.
Councilor Keefe.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. We will vote this out favorably this evening for the committee of the whole. There's no need to stay on Zoom. We're going to, you have the votes, and congratulations, Jim. Do a good job for our community.
Thank you so much.
Yep, a pleasure. It's now time to conclude this very important subcommittee meeting of the appointments, and I congratulate each and every one of you for your thoughts and your views, and let's go on and have another productive meeting this evening. Thank you.
Ashley, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Bob.
Okay, great. I couldn't hear anybody else. Thank you.